What is happening, viewers? Welcome back to the channel. Two races for you tonight from the MX5 League. The first one, epic, right up until the last corner of the last lap. Make sure you stay tuned for that. The second one, more frustrating. We've cut out the boring bits, so stay tuned for the end of it. But yeah, a frustrating race, the second one. Quick look at the points. You've got Bo Dixon on 237. You've got ourselves in second on 167. People to watch, Enzo Gibbert and Dylan DaCosta, 150 and 149. Bo Dixon's not here tonight either, so a good opportunity to make up some points. We're racing at Zhuhai tonight, and our best qualifying position before now was P4 last week. But tonight we've stuck it on pole by 0.15 of a second over Enzo Gibbert. We got some pace tonight. I don't know how, but yeah, we look quick. So starting from pole, Enzo Gibbert in P2, Dylan DaCosta's P4. The two of them are split by Paul Matthews. Let's get cracking with race one. Strap yourselves in. Hope you enjoy. Don't forget to like and subscribe. On with race one. Here we go, viewers. Starting P1 for the first time. We've never won a race one. We've won a reverse grid, but never race one. Should have mentioned at the start, we're at Zhuhai this week. Funky little track in China. The start in P1, Enzo Gibbert in P2, Paul Matthews P3, Dylan DaCosta P4. Can we win it?
We've got ourselves 15 minutes of action here in China in Zhuhai, and we are green light racing. So Adam Christopher does take us away down towards turn number one. We've then got Enzo Gibbert in behind Paul Matthews and Dylan DaCosta as your front four. We see a potential send then from Berger Mazeman. Oh no, what's he done? Well, he's just taken Rich Page out. Rich Page gets going once again, and I think Berger Mazeman is waiting for him. Yeah, he is waiting for him, and he's unfortunately we've had one casualty already in this race. The front drivers are very close to each other indeed. Adam Christopher, Enzo Gibbert, Dylan DaCosta now ahead of Paul Matthews. So we go for in the front board. He's been overtaken by Dylan DaCosta, so he'll want to try and get his position back as soon as he possibly can. Very harsh braking zone. You can see that actually there is a move for the lead of this race. Enzo Gibbert sends one up the inside of Adam Christopher and gets it done. A bit of contact on the exit. And the inside line now still being held by Adam Christopher, so he might be able to reciprocate here, retake the position. Down then towards the double left-hander, and then into the final sector. Adam Christopher with that inside line, really nice stuff actually. And I'll tell you what, Dylan DaCosta has just tagged the back of his teammate. So him and Enzo Gibbert have had some contact this season, and it's happened again. And he is now in danger of losing that slipstream. You lose a slipstream here and you're in trouble. So you've got to be really, really careful. Kim Lay's looking for his opportunity himself in the Belgian colours. He is a Belgian driver. They've got Anthony Hobbs coming involved as well in that army green in the background as Den Carter leaves the door wide open. Nothing really happening there. Kim Lay's there nearly having a bit of a scrape with Hobbs, going very slowly through the corner. But look at this, down towards that final corner. Enzo Gibbert does have that inside line. Paul Matthews is going to be loving this. Adam Christopher actually manages to keep hold of the lead. Enzo Gibbert does get out of the way, doesn't really want to slow them down too much. And as we head then down the straight, I hate to break it to you, Adam Christopher, they're far too close for you to be breaking a toe. They are right up your fart box. Down towards turn number one we will go. And Enzo Gibbert trying to find a little bit of a gap to work with. Gets a bit crossed up in steering, with a little bit of a tap there to the rear of the car in front. Dylan DaCosta about 9/10 of a second back, so he's not quite lost the toe. He needs these three to battle. But right now, the onus is on them all not fighting too hard. If they fight, then Dylan DaCosta gets a freebie, gets a free opportunity to get back in this race. And as it stands, they're actually doing a relatively good job. Dylan DaCosta's actually got a slowdown penalty, so that's not going to help him. So these three have done a good enough job of not attacking each other too crazily, which in turn has given them a chance to drive away as we go then down in towards the hairpin in Sector 2. The move that Enzo Gibbert managed to pull off last time round. He's done it once again, but I think Adam Christopher has also got the run. He's now going to, he's going to sit in behind. He actually hasn't got the run down towards the double left-handers. And Enzo Gibbert for the first time does lead this race down towards then the double left-handers. Adam Christopher absolutely sends it down the inside. Runs out of room on the exit there. Read perfectly by Enzo Gibbert. Paul Matthews says thank you very much. They all go through nicely. And the lead has changed hands here. And Dylan DaCosta now starting to close back in as well. Berger Mazeman did let Richard Page go. Them two are fighting at the back of the order as it stands. Enzo Gibbert here on lap number 2 is the new leader of the race. So there's a little bit of a mistake there from Paul Matthews. Adam Christopher has got the jump here, and he has got the position. I tell you what, I was a bit worried for them both that they were going to run side by side through the next part of the course, and ultimately it will cost them trying to catch back up to the leader. Enzo Gibbert right now wants them two to battle behind. I tell you what, Christopher's got a hell of a run through that final corner. That's going to result in a slowdown, I would imagine. And actually, it looks like he might have got away with it. See how much more pace he was carrying through the corner. Simon Wardle not too far behind. So right now, 7 cars battling for the lead, I would say. Once all is said and done, as we see a potential send from Paul Matthews, doesn't quite work out. Mistake from Enzo Gibbert. He's going to run wide on the exit here. There we go, nearly into the grass. Dylan DaCosta is off lawn mowing. That's another slowdown penalty for him. So another chance for him to be the bridge for Wardle, Lenny de Jong and Temenga to potentially catch up towards the leaders. Front 3 have changed positions again. So Enzo Gibbert still leads, but Adam Christopher ahead of Paul Matthews. It's very close here in Zhuhai.
So we decided to just stop being stupid. Let's just stop sending it on each other. Right? We've got a little bit of a gap now to Paul Matthews. Let's just sit in behind. We actually go a bit deep there. We didn't mean to do that. But let's just sit in behind now. Let's just stop sending it. Let's settle down. Let's try and get away from this group behind. Let's work together so us two can make it a 2-horse race. Let's just go with Enzo. We're not going to send it on him. Look, we're just going to slot him behind. Let him know that we're not going to send it. And try and get that gap to the group behind and just pull away from them as best we can, really. Break that gap.
Front 2 kind of getting away. Adam Christopher needs to be clever, I think. If he can now push, maybe just a little bit along the straights, there might be an opportunity for these two to drive away. You see Paul Matthews is going to be slow on the exit.
So exactly that. We're just going to settle in behind him as we come towards the final corner. No sends whatsoever. We're now going to skip ahead by a lap or so.
Front 2 have kind of got away now. They have kind of got away. Adam Christopher playing this very cleverly indeed. He's got a ball with Dylan DaCosta. Is he going to try and make a move through the double left-handers? I'll tell you what, he's just on the brakes a little bit earlier there than Paul Matthews, trying to get a nice run on the exit. It's not quite going to work out. This second part is just flat out. He's not quite close enough. Simon Wardle is putting as much pressure onto Dylan DaCosta as Dylan DaCosta is putting onto Paul Matthews. I'll tell you what, he tries to fake one, tries to dummy up the inside. Didn't quite work out, but he's trying something. As Paul Matthews runs wide, that's how he lost the position initially, and he's done it again. Simon Wardle up into a potential podium battle. Gap now between the front 2 and the second group of cars is 1.7 seconds. They've broken the toe, so it's now between Adam Christopher and Enzo Gibbert for the race victory. Who's going to come out on top?
Who is going to come out on top? We're still not ready to just send it yet. Let's just keep sitting behind him. We're only halfway through the race. We'll decide when to go for it, but just keep an eye on that battle behind, guys, on the broadcast.
Simon Wardle looking for an opportunity around the outside. It's not going to work out. But I'll tell you what, Dylan DaCosta is going to be slow on the apex. Simon Wardle trying to make something happen. A little bit of a love tap between the two of them. Has the inside line through the kink, but he will have then the outside line in towards the hairpin, in towards that stadium section. A very tough corner to run side by side through here because it very much narrows up mid-corners. Paul Matthews sends one up the inside, and well, he's the one that loses out, and we see that often from Paul. Patience, unfortunately, doesn't quite work out. Needs to be more patient in those situations. Oh, he took Dylan out. So DaCosta has been cleaned out, and I thought Dylan had got away with that. He hadn't. He had not got away with that.
Nice gap back now. Now we can start thinking about plotting our moves for the winners. We now skip ahead to the end of the lap.
Up to the leaders, and now they've got a 4-second advantage to play with here. And Adam Christopher is very much keeping Enzo Gibbert honest. Now you've got yourself 5 minutes to figure out where can I be faster, where can I make the overtake that's going to keep me in the lead of this race. Slipstreaming is a factor in every circuit with the MX5s, as you would imagine. Simon Wardle, it's not a slowdown? Bloody hell. Yeah, slipstreaming, of course, with this car specifically is always going to be a factor, but I'm not sure it's going to be as big a factor as here as it was at Road America or, you know, a track like Daytona, for instance. As Adam Christopher finds that inside line, you see the wing mirrors almost touching each other, and he will, by the time they go through this kink, I think just about have the lead. Lead does change hands. Enzo Gibbert has the inside line in towards the stadium apex. I'll tell you what, there's a mistake there from Enzo Gibbert. He's going to run wide. Adam Christopher should have the momentum. They're going to come through the kink. And by the time they come through there again, I think Enzo's just about in the lead. Will Christopher have the run to get himself back into the lead? He does. Momentarily, I think he will. He is in the lead, but Enzo Gibbert with that inside line. will hold on, but the switchback might work out nicely for Adam Christopher just because of the camber of that corner. It doesn't quite go to plan, but Christopher is looking strong. He is looking very strong here indeed. He's not phased by this at all. Of course, is looking to try and close the championship lead. I'm not saying he's going to take the lead in this championship by any stretch of the imagination. I don't think it's actually possible, to be honest. To try and close that lead, because Bo not being here is a massive opportunity, as Adam Christopher does send it up the inside in towards the third from last corner, and he gets the job done. Does he feel like he can manage the lead from here with 2 laps as they cross the line, I think, remaining? Oh, it's going to be tight, actually. It might be 3. You see Enzo Gibbert almost bump drafting him. It's going to be 3. We go around the final corner. By the time they get down towards the line, yeah, it's going to be easily 3 more laps remaining of this race.
3 more laps to go. We've taken the lead. Now can we hold it? We're in a weird place for this race. We're very confident with our pace when it's going up against Enzo. We've never been on the proper pace of these front guys in race 1 all season. For some reason around this track, we're on it. We're just on it. So we come down to the left-hander down here, the sort of kink, if you like. But we know where Enzo's favourite move is, don't we? Down to this next hairpin. We're not very confident into this hairpin. That is our weakness, definitely. And he would have been looking at that. Every time Enzo's been behind us, he has sent it down the inside of this hairpin. Will this lap be any different? We're going to jump on the brakes now. No, it's not. He does actually tap the rear of us as he goes for the inside. Late lunge. Gets the move done. Okay, just masters in it. Little bit of a nudge. We're now going to go to the outside. Now we've got that gap. Gloves are off now. Gloves are off. Let's go for this. 2 more laps to go at the end of this one. We're on the outside. We're just going to try and pin him to the inside as long as we can. Go deep on the brakes. Try and cut back. Get a good one off the corner. Look at that. There we go. Switch back up the inside. Get the inside for the next left. Yeah. Now we're talking. Take the lead back. Keep it on track limits. Boom. Back into the lead of the race. Now Enzo's very clever here. He could easily send it back on us, but if you watch in that mirror, he doesn't do it. He wants the toe on the straight. He doesn't want to overtake here. He wants the toe off this final corner and down the main straight. So we're just trying to break the toe ourselves if we can do. We've been stronger out of turn 1. You would have seen that every time through turn 1. For some reason, we've got a much better run off of turn 1 than Enzo manages. Get a good one off the apex. He's got a good run on us. We're not going to defend it. We're not going to defend it. We're going to sit on the racing line. We'll let him go to the inside. 2 more laps to go, and just try and take it back.
Christopher is going to let him go. Makes complete sense. Don't really want to be fighting too hard. There's a mistake there mid-corner from Enzo Gibbert. And for the second time, he's tried to get this job done. It's not quite worked out. You can see that Adam Christopher is pushing over to the left to force Enzo to be very wide through the kink. And as they come down then towards the very meshy exit of this hairpin, heading down towards the stadium, they are still almost touching. Adam Christopher on the outside line now this time around. They've got plenty of time to work with the group behind. Enzo Gibbert just tries to squeeze him. Christopher has the outside line. Will have to be patient. Gibbert takes that inside line. Well, you can see Adam Christopher's got a hell of a run. It's a really nice run on the exit. Now it's uphill all the way to the braking zone. Christopher going to be forced to take the wide line here. I think he needs to be patient once again. I'm not sure he needs to be doing too much, although last time out he set himself up lovely through the exit of this corner. I think this time he might be a little bit too far ahead. Well, actually, he's going to try and go the opposite. He's going to go all the way around the outside. Enzo Gibbert squeezes him, but leaves the perfect amount of room. It's lovely racing between these two. A fantastic battle for the lead. We absolutely love to see it. Heading then down towards that final corner, or final complex of corners. And who will win this race? Will it be Adam Christopher or will it be Enzo Gibbert?
So now we've got the toe going on to the final lap. Notice we didn't send it at that previous corner. This is it. We've now just got to work out where we're stronger. We've been plotting it the entire race. We know where our strengths are. Off of turn 1, our weakness is that hairpin. Where can we do it? Can we take the win?
Here we go. Down then towards turn number 1. For the very final time, we're on the final lap of the first race. Can Adam Christopher overturn this deficit. Another mistake there made by Enzo Gibbert. He struggles through the middle part of that corner. Christopher then with the run down towards turn number 2. And I'll tell you what, by the time they go through there, he's absolutely going to have the lead of this race. He does. So there it is. He's now going to get across and defend the position. Enzo Gibbert's going to try and force a line and actually has to decide to back out of it. They're both crossed up in steering. And now we head down towards the position of the hairpin at turn number 5. And this is where Enzo Gibbert has been making moves up the inside, left, right, and indeed centre. Every single lap we've seen him try and do something through here. And as we go around the hairpin, he's on the outside line. A bit of door banger between the two of them is really nice racing once again, but Adam Christopher just about holds firm. Enzo Gibbert forced to go around the outside, which is some way he's not been able to make an overtake so far during this race. Adam Christopher has learned on the fly how to defend this lead position down towards the double left-hander. Enzo Gibbert's going to try and do the switchback. He loses a bit of traction through the middle of the corner. Oh, there's contact between the two of them. Enzo Gibbert has to back out. Adam Christopher does indeed hold on to that position. Enzo Gibbert runs off track, keeps 2 wheels on the curbing, so he's not going to get a penalty. Adam Christopher still leads this race down towards the final 3 corners. Gibbert's forced to go all the way around the outside. And I tell you what, if Christopher could be in the lead out of this corner, I think he might have just about done enough. Still with the slipstream, there's nothing to choose between the two of them. They've been closed in massively by the group behind, and as we come then down towards the kink, has Gibbert got the momentum run? But he's going to force Christopher to be slow on the entry of the corner, and then he's going to hope to have the momentum on the exit. Well, he's not. He's going to slide the car out. Adam Christopher is going to hold on. He is going to pick up the first race win of the day.
Woo-hoo. There we go. Look at us. Look at the concentration. Wow, we've only just sort of come out of that trance we were in. There we go. We've even forgotten to celebrate. Look at the adrenaline coursing through us. Woosah. What a finish. What a race. Now we're talking. Have a little swig of the Pepsi Max. Looking forward to race number 2. So, on to race 2. Top 10 have been reversed on this. So, Enzo Gibbert starts P9. Check out Dylan DaCosta starting P3 for this one. He's got to be the favourite, starting that high up the grid. So what can we do? Where can we finish? Let's see.
So Anthony Hobbs, Paul Matthews are your front row. Second races tend to be a little bit more sketchy than the first race, but I'm sure the racing will be pretty darn good. Here we go then, race start, and we are off down towards turn number 1. Dylan DaCosta actually already up into second spot, so not a good start from Den Carter. Not too sure what happened there. Paul Matthews also not getting off the line well at all.
So we get an all right start. We've got Berger Mazeman trying to hang it around the outside of us. Enzo Gibbert just ahead of us. Now, look at this next corner. We're going to go round the right kink, into the left, about 4 cars ahead of us. Someone spins out, and there's a gaggle of cars on the exit. Just going to happen now. And Enzo Gibbert darts to the left. We could go to the right, but we don't do it. We try and follow Enzo. He's made it past all the bunch of cars. We can't. We've gone to the wrong side. We're going to have to back out of this so we're not 3 wide on the outside. Now Simon Wardle's got back down the inside of us. He's now going to send it down the inside. Look at that. We just got to try and pick our way through this. There's a gap. No, there's not. He's come back on the track. Now we've lost the position to Richard Page. We're still in P9. Oh, that split decision. That split decision where we decided to follow Enzo to the left. And looking back, we could have gone to the right. Really cost us. Now we're in the gaggle of cars. We're just trying to pick our way through. Now we've got Berger Mazeman coming around the outside of us.
Adam Christopher P10. So he's just not really making any inroads in this race whatsoever. Needs to catch up and needs to be dragged along, realistically, by Enzo Gibbert. But he's already in P4. He's going around the outside of Kim Lays. He's now up to P3. So a big chance then. Big chance for Enzo Gibbert to get up to the lead of this race. Potentially grab some big points. Back on board with Adam Christopher. We can see he's right behind Rich Page, who's up to P8 as we've already suggested. As we come towards that final corner, so patiently getting off the power. He's going to try and punch his way through and get a really good exit, and he has. It's a really good exit actually. As we head then down towards turn number 1, should be 1, maybe even 2 positions, depending on how well he can get on the brakes. Because you can see Rich Page is also trying to make a move. It's 3 wide. As Simon Wardle's on the outside line. Simon Wardle's going to hold on. Adam Christopher's going to come through. Rich Page then will go down to 9th position with Berger Mazeman closing in. Nice move there from Christopher.
So we're up into P8. But this is steady progress. No, I can't, as Richard Page is going to send it down inside. We're not having it. We're not having it. We're just going to, we're just going to hang it around the outside, pinch him onto the curb. We need to go forward. So, into P8. Like I say, the progress is going to be steady now. Down to the hairpin that we don't like. Get an alright run off the corner. We've got Simon Wardle, Temenga and Lenny de Jong just ahead of us. And yeah, all these guys are quick. No, these drivers are quick, and we're normally on the pace of them. Somehow in race 1, you know, we did really well in quali, and ourselves and Enzo just managed to gap the rest of them. But they're quick, and around this track, I don't feel like, unless you've got a good toe and you've got good runs off the corners compared to the rest, that you can make a lot happen. Up ahead, Simon Wardle's going to go to the outside of Temenga, so we're just keeping an eye on that now, seeing where the door opens up. Temenga's going to run a little bit off the apex. We'll have that. There we go. Give him a shove, and we are past Simon Wardle. So we're up into P7. Now Anton Temenga, just like the last lap. Look at that, we've got a purple middle sector though, so we're quick. We've got some pace. We're just going to drag the brake a little bit so we can get a good run through the final corner. But actually, Temenga's quicker than we think through the final corner, and so we've actually cost ourselves a little bit of time. We've got to get in that toe, down the front straight. We've already made our mind up here that we're just going to send it. We've got to get through some traffic if we can. So we're going to send it at the last moment. But Temenga's late on the brakes as well. We've got to really avoid hitting the back of him, which we just avoid doing.
You can see actually that Simon Wardle is putting pressure on Christopher. So Christopher not moving forward. He's actually going to be looking in his rear view mirror.
Certainly right, I'm looking in my fucking mirror. We've now got Simon Wardle on the back of us. Now, in fairness to him, he could send it here, and he doesn't. There's no one behind him. He just settles in, thinks of the bigger picture, like that. Fair play, Simon. But we're still trying to get past Temenga. We come down to the hairpin that we don't like. We're going to look towards the inside, but we don't have the balls for it. We just bottle that. We sort of try and get a good run off the corner instead, which we've now done. So we're now on Temenga. There's dice ahead of us, look, with the group ahead. So already we're thinking now, can we send one down the inside of this hairpin? We've done it a couple of times in race 1. Just as we get towards the braking zone. There we go, down the inside, get to the curb, a little bit of oversteer. So a little bit of a touch between the two of us, but I think it's all fair game. And we take the position up to P6.
Anthony Hobbs overtaken now by Lenny de Jong. They're almost side by side, and Anthony Hobbs just decides to back out. As we head then down in towards the third from last corner. Christopher sends one up the inside, so does Wardle. Wardle's going to come through nicely. Christopher comes through. He's going to get a double move actually. He's going to Lenny de Jong as well. And Adam Christopher up to P4. Berger Mazeman in behind Rich Page. These two have already had a fight today so far. Paul Matthews involved in this as well. Oh, argy-bargy between all three of these cars. Down towards that final corner they will come. Patience is definitely needed for this final corner.
So into P4, Kim Lay's ahead of us, and then we just got Enzo Gibbert and Dylan DaCosta. They're too far away from each other for them two to scrap. We're going to be too far behind to catch them. This is probably going to be it. Stay tuned though, because the race isn't over, as you will see. So Kim Lay's gets an alright run off turn 1. We, as always, seem to get a great run off turn 1. Look at that, we're 3/10 up nearly on our best lap. So we're going to come down to the third corner, I think this is. On the brakes, should we try and go around the outside? Fuck it. Yeah, go on then. Leave a little bit of room on the inside, get to the curb. Look at that. Love that move. Very happy with that. We're now going to fast forward ahead, because all we're going for now is fastest lap. 2 points for fastest lap. And this is the penultimate lap of the race, look. And we're 2/10 up on our best. So this is looking like a best lap, and we have got pace. So on the brakes down to the hairpin that we don't like. The rear steps out a little bit, and round it goes. We spin out a P3. What a fucking moron.
Oh, hold on. Adam Christopher has thrown himself off the track somewhere. He has. He's down to P4, so this podium has just disappeared. Lenny de Jong's just been gifted a chance at getting a podium, and he will be so buzzing with that, and he deserves a podium, to be fair, for his driving this season. De Jong who's taken a break, he's come back, and he does look a lot stronger week in, week out. Adam Christopher has now got 1 lap remaining to try and find 1.6 seconds, which I think is nigh on impossible. De Jong isn't going to give him that. He won't even give him that chance.
Oh, so 1 lap to go. We just got to try and catch Lenny de Jong and try and set the fastest lap. It's like a double bubble. So we're now going to skip ahead to halfway round that final lap. We found the 6/10. Look, we've found the 6/10, and we're a 10th up on our best lap, down to the hairpin that we don't like. So half a lap to go. We're closing in. We get to the apex this time, and it nearly does it again. We nearly spin again. Ah, that's P4 done. We're now going to fast forward to the final corner.
And it's going to be Dylan DaCosta that picks up the second race victory today. Congratulations to him.
So congrats to Dylan. Dylan takes the win. Give it second. Lenny de Jong gets third. We get P4. All right, race winning. The first one was epic. That was just all right. Anyway, thanks for watching, guys. Don't forget to like and subscribe as always. Tune in again next week for the next round. All the best. I shall see you then.